Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Vampire the Masquerade Independence. Tonight we join our scene in the police department's parking lot, or at least somewhere very close by, where the front of the police department can most certainly be seen. Here we join our two heroes for the night, a certain Celio and Isabel, as they sit within their van watching the building. It's a quiet night, perhaps one of the quieter ones that they've seen for a while. There are a myriad of cars parked outside, most of which appear to be the standard police cruiser. There is one black car with tinted windows that does stand out amongst the rest. There are general comings and goings, police occasionally dragging in the random drunkard that just got way too drunk and disorderly in public. It seems like a normal night.
Well, Isabel will be sitting next to Celio in either the front or back of this van, either wherever he's picked. She's pretty much attached to his side, and she's got her tablet out. She's got it plugged into a keyboard, so it makes typing easier on it, and she's working on getting into the system. She already has the wireless password, so with permission, I'd like to say that she's already connected. Once connected, though, she will be starting to transfer files to her tablet, specifically files relating to the videos that were done of Chell and the others, as well as trying to get information on this most recent murder, the one from the Street Serpents, this guy that was put up on a sign. She's looking specifically for details on his case, though those files she is not erasing just yet. Would you like me to roll manipulate or intelligence computers for doing all that?
Yes, but at a lower difficulty since you basically know your way. You know the basic way into the system. It's just navigating around inside it to find what you need.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, with the wireless device she has set up, it's,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
that plus then noticing if anything's going on.
1, 2, 3 successes. So that's 3 for her getting the stuff, and then I'm going to have her. I'll roll it again. I'm going to have her then upload a virus to the system, a sort of like brute force attack to try to overload it after deleting the videos of Chell and everyone, as well as just random other videos. So it looks like certain things were lost on accident during the crash.
Yep, go ahead and roll for that.
I'd like to count my 10 as double because I'm using my specialty virus.
Yep, that's fine.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Well, from what you can tell, the virus planting seems to go off rather successfully. You do manage to, I'm guessing you're going to be copying the files that you were after as well.
Yes.
You download the files, but I will fill you in on what they are later once Isabel's had time to properly read them.
Mm-hmm.
They were basically files that I mean, on a broad search, they were the ones that flagged up under the search terms that you put in, and associated files and documents, basically. A few minutes after you've entered the virus, you get a short text from Anna, basically asking, "Hey, there's something going on with the computers down here. Can you please help me?"
And Isabel will say, she'll text back saying, "Don't worry about it. They'll be up in a few minutes."
And then she get a text back being like, "Oh, you."
Isabel smiles at that, and then she'll kind of tap Celio, who she's assuming is daydreaming or something at this point. He's been quiet.
He's just been sitting in the driver's seat, tapping his hands on the steering wheel while he had his earphones in, listening to something on an iPod. Just tapping away to the beat that he's hearing, and when his shoulder is tapped, he like perks his brows up and pops one of the earbuds out and looks over. So, are we get ready to get started, or?
She looks at him and like, "Oh, I already got everything." She pokes the tablet. "I got all the files. What did you need to do tonight?"
Well, there was some deal going down with the street serpents, and Mitch asked for help from his primogen. So I plan on shutting down the bloodhounds.
She kind of shifty eyes for a moment. She's like, you want me to help?"
I would appreciate that, actually. I don't know how you can help as of right now, but they're just a typical gang. They probably don't have much in the way of tech.
No, but it wouldn't be too hard to perhaps plant some evidence. And she texts Anna, "Hey, anything found on the guy on the sign?"
Lots.
And she'll say, "Are you inside? We're in the parking lot."
And she'll get the response, "Yes, what do you need?"
And she'll say, "Think you can get me some evidence?"
Evidence of what?
Evidence that might point towards, well, the bloodhounds having killed that guy on the sign.
I'll be out in 1 minute.
She looks at Celio and she goes, "See, this is why making friends with the other crazy people is very important. Anna is a valuable resource." And she smiles.
Okay, what did she agree to? And this whole time you were just sitting there texting away silently. You've been trying to peek over your shoulder, but not be obvious about it. Anytime you looked up to see what he was doing, he snapped back to looking out the window, looking around.
She's going to say, "Very simple. I'm going to get her to get some evidence. We're going to plant it on the bloodhounds. You know that guy they found on the sign, the street serpent?
Vaguely.
Yeah, pretty fucking brutal. Either way, we can pin this on the bloodhound. Let's make it look like they did it. It's two birds for one stone."
On their leader specifically.
Yeah.
Need to get rid of him anyway.
You thinking about taking over?
Of course. How else are you supposed to control the crime rate? The whole police versus robbers thing hasn't been working out for the past 50 years, has it?
No. I'm not saying anything against you. You probably do a better job than they do anyway. And she'll kind of snuggle up against his side while she waits on Anna. Since they're alone.
But they wouldn't be for long. Soon enough, the short figure of Anna would come bouncing up to the car.
And there she is, right on cue. She'll open the door and she'll smile at Anna.
She smiles and waves. It's been pretty much exactly 1 minute. Hi, Izzy. Oh, hello, Mr. Celio.
Anna? I heard that you plan on helping us get rid of a bloodhound.
Well, I'm changing the results of a police investigation. If that's what I'm doing, then yes, I suppose I am.
AFK, you two talk.
A bit for Nancy. Yes. Well, see, the bloodhounds are a bit of a problem in this neighborhood. And the cops having their war with them is more detrimental to to society as a whole than simply controlling them. I'm going to put them under new management to better control what they do, keep what they do away from children and all that.
Well, yeah, I want to help with that. And she hauls the bag over to the seat beside her. Do you want to know what I was planning on doing?
If you don't mind sharing.
Well, and she unzips the bag. I have all of the steel spikes from the billboard. I was intending on doing some sort of fingerprint transplant. I was also going to take hair and skin samples and plant them on the body as well.
All right. Just gives a bit of a nod. Says, I think we can do all that.
I also have his wallet and ID and everything. If you want to put that somewhere.
Although I don't know where yet, but we can finish, or we can come up with a place to put it later. Whether it's in his car, his house or apartment, or wherever he lives, or even in his pocket.
Okay. I've not done this sort of thing before, so if you think that's best, I just know what I would be looking for.
So I'm just gonna nod and say, I honestly haven't done something like this before myself, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect. But they have several meth labs in the area. I was going to call some of my friends and we're going to remove those meth labs. You, myself, and Isabel here are going to go straight to the main branch, the headquarters of the gang, and we're going to storm it by force. I'm not entirely sure how good you are at combat, so if you need to stay back, it's perfectly fine.
Celia might notice that for an instant after he mentions meth labs, Anna's jaw visibly tightens and her grip on the bag stiffens a bit.
Yeah. And he notices that and saying, when I say remove, we're going to throw a bottle inside of their labs. And the lab won't be standing after the bottle lands.
She lets out a slow nod before saying, yeah, I don't really know how to fight, so I'll probably just wait in the car until you need me, okay?
He'll give a nod at that. And he'll pull out his phone and he'll he'll send his contact a little bit of a text asking if they've gotten everyone together into 4 groups. Like he told Mitch the plan, but he doesn't quite know if Mitch told them the plan.
The call comes back that everything's as Celio asked them for directly.
Right. He's gonna have several of them meet him up at, I'm gonna say, like 34 Oak, and from there they're all gonna get together and go straight to the headquarters. As they enter the headquarters, that's when he's gonna send them the text. When they get the text, they're supposed to throw their Molotovs into the windows. And then anyone who comes out just gets mowed down by gunfire. No more cooks, no more labs, headquarters shut down. The gang will be crippled, but if they weren't crippled, it would be much harder to take over.
Pretty much everyone is either in position or getting into position at the moment.
And as he gets that message back, he'll turn on the car and start to. He turns back to and says, "Are you ready?"
I suppose.
Okay. Don't know if you need anything, and after he says this, he'll start to drive out of the parking lot. Very casually, actually.
Well, won't this attack on the meth lab draw a lot of police attention? I mean, the FBI's in town now. They could come down with like everything.
Yes, it'll draw a lot of attention. Two gangs launching a full-scale assault on a rival gang. The Bloodhounds will be mostly crushed. The FBI and the police will show up after the Serpents have vacated the premises, and that's when they will find your evidence.
She gave a slow nod, her eyes widening slightly as she seemed like she's finally understanding it now.
Says the majority of the attack will be, well, since we're using Molotovs, it'll seem very rudimentary. It'll seem like just a gang attacking another gang. And they'll show up to respond to that when they'll coincidentally come across evidence that leads them to the killer of the person on the billboard.
So it's a retribution killing then, yeah?
Well, the Serpents believe the Bloodhounds killed their members. And I believe some of them actually did during the False Elysium several weeks ago. So, in a manner of speaking, yes.
Maybe they were the ones that made those other people disappear. Mitch was saying that he was losing drug dealers.
That's fine.
Very possible. I mean, gangs and all.
Usually gang members are pretty sloppy, though. They'll just shoot someone on the street and leave the body out in plain sight. I haven't really been worried about several gang members vanishing, to be honest.
Neither do the police, and that's why she shrugged. It'll make the situation a lot easier for us. Nobody really bats an eyelash when the drug dealers go missing now, do they?
I might get the FBI off my back. They're good, but they're just a bit intense.
You think they're intense? Wait till you meet the IRS.
You knew all about that, wouldn't you, corporate? She pokes her tongue out.
Hey, the IRS is no laughing matter. They caught some of the biggest criminals who the police thought were untouchable, all because they made a mistake or they fucked up on their taxes. Well, even some of the higher ups in the Camarilla are scared of the IRS.
You guys cool to time skip to the meth lab?
I was right about to do that. Although they're not going to the meth lab. The four others are. They're meeting up with some people on what was it like?
Oh yeah, like random address.
Yeah. And after they get there, he just parks, flashes his lights a couple times, and then starts driving off. And I'll probably notice that they are being followed after that.
Well, there's a collection of green-clad men just sort of hanging around at the address that was specified by Celio. And indeed they are being followed soon after he parks up and flashes his lights. The whole situation seems to be getting Anna a little bit more worried as time goes on. As things suddenly start to seem more and more real.
And Celio will park on the street, a bit away from the building itself, and actually he parks in such a way that another car kind of gives his car some cover, like a van that was sitting on the side of the street just gives his car some cover. So it's hard to see from the house itself. And if there's a possibility of the car being hit, the van should take the hit first.
Well, being that this is a rather not nice area, there's certainly some not nice looking vans parked around that are quite crudely painted red in some cases. Further on down the street, down into an alleyway, would be the main entrance to the lab. It was a long, thin warehouse, possibly only 30 feet wide and much longer than it was wide. It seemed like it was some sort of old cannery or something like that, possibly stopped being used within the past 50 years and just sort of sat there rotting until a certain gang came in. And the group that was following Celio also pulls up further on behind him, although some stay mounted in a rather ramshackle-looking car with bits of metal and such welded onto the front of it.
And what Celio's going to do is he's going to take the key out of the ignition, and he's going to turn back and offer it to Anna and just say, in case someone tries to steal the car, I'm leaving you in charge of its defense. So if someone tries to break in and steal it, drive away.
She gives a nod and accepts the keys.
And he goes and he pops the trunk before getting out and goes around to the back of the vehicle. And she can hear him digging around the trunk. What he's actually doing is he's moving like the emergency stuff out of the way and the spare tire out of the way, and he's opening up a little compartment on the bottom of the trunk that the spare tire should be going in, but isn't in. And inside of this compartment is actually a sawed-off shotgun and some rounds. He picks up the box of shells and he tucks it into his pocket. Picks up the sawed-off, and he'll tuck that into his trench coat.
As Celia is doing this, Anna leans forwards in her seat and kind of whispers to Izzy, could you guys be careful? I mean, I still need my cosplay partner for this weekend. Before she clambers over into the front seat and hides behind the steering wheel.
And Isabel looks at Anna and just kind of smiles. She'll be like, don't worry about us. We've done this before. Well, not quite this, but close enough. And she motions to the garrote wire on her wrist, wrapped around it, attached to a leather bracelet. Don't worry, I got it covered. And she'll give her a little bit of a hug, and then she'll hop out of the van and follow, or not the van, the car, whatever, and follow Celio.
I'll glance to Isabel and say, what do you have as far as weapons?
This, and she motions to the wire around her wrist. I can choke people. Do you want me to go in obfuscated?
Might be a good idea. You can say, in case you absolutely need it. He pulls a heavy pistol, actually, heavy revolver, actually, out from his pocket, and he'll hand it over.
She takes it, but she looks like she's uneasy about holding this. But she will take it, and she'll put it in the loop of her, or not the loop of her belt, but she'll put it in her, belt under her jacket. Okay, let's go in. Also, guys, I'm kind of like back and forth, just FYI.
Okay.
For ease of everything, since it's a gang versus a gang and vampires versus mortals, I'm just going to say we'll cinematic this based on your attack rolls.
Sounds good.
Screw doing a full-on combat with two giant gangs involved.
Well, what Celia does is he motions the people that were following them to follow him. Pulls out his cell phone, types up now, and puts his thumb over the send button. And he'll tell Isabel to go around the back, obfuscated if possible.
There's a group of about half a dozen rather happy, I'm going to say, looking gangbangers, all wielding various shotguns. A couple have hunting rifles. One of them's just got a pair of baseball bats with barbed wire wrapped around it, and he's grinning. A couple more stay back with the car with all the steel plates welded onto it, and the car just slowly rolls forwards, staying behind Celio and the others. On her trip around the back, Isabel would see that the lab is pretty much going perfectly normal. That no one seems to have batted an eyelid to these heavily armed ruffians wandering around their area. There's a couple of guys on the front door when she gets around there, there's a couple of guys in the back door. They don't seem to be paying that much attention. I mean, who in their right mind would attack one of the biggest gangs in the city, right on their front doorstep?
Okay. I obfuscated, right? I think I said that.
We assumed you did, yeah.
I would like to have her try to sneak around them and go inside. I want her to go for what she's gonna basically, her thought is go straight for the guy that might be in charge, with the evidence that Anna would have provided. So do you want me to roll stealth? I mean, I am obfuscated, but
Yeah, all stealth, just so because like there, I mean, you are carrying a bag full of steel spikes.
oh yeah.
Anna has said, just to remind you, that she wants fingerprints on the spikes, as well as hair and skin samples, and she's given you little evidence bags to put them in, and the victim's wallet.
Blood buffing my dex by 2 to bring it up to 5. Average difficulty?
It looks like you made it. I mean,
Yeah,
you got 2 ones, but like loads more others.
yeah.
There's a few almost close calls where you were slowly sneaking through the lab, only to have someone in a big ass respirator nearly walk into you, but you duck back just in time. Making your way through, everyone seems entirely focused on what they're doing, which is probably for the best, as you don't particularly want it going up in flames with you in there. You do find your way through to about halfway down the room. There's a small room built into the side that narrows the long corridor of the building slightly. The door's slightly open, and inside you can see there's a couple of filing cabinets that look like they just haven't been used, as well as a big safe that looks like it has been used and looks fairly well maintained, as well as a guy just sat in there reading over, I'm going to say Sun Tzu, because why not?
I'm gonna have her go into the corner of that room and just kind of, she's gonna, obfuscate still, stay in the corner of the room and wait for Celio to get up there before doing anything.
The guy glances up as you walk in. He doesn't seem to have noticed you, but he does notice that the door moves ever so slightly, and he stands up, puts his book down, and walks to the door and shouts out, "God damn it, guys, can you not keep the fucking door closed in here? Jesus Christ," and slams the door. And then he walks back and takes a seat again.
And after giving her some time to set up, Steele's going to tell 2 of the guys with the rifles to get set up on the outside of the place and see if they can't see anyone inside, possibly through the scopes on the rifles. If not, then go for to take aim at anyone outside that might be guarding the front entrance.
There's 2 guys, one on each side of the entrance, and they've both got one's got a shotgun and the other one's got a submachine gun, and they're just slung over their shoulders, and they're passing a bottle of beer back and forth. The warehouse's windows are quite high, but I mean, people on the roofs of each side can easily see guys inside moving around, tending to the equipment.
Okay. If they can basically just relay how many people they can see inside.
There's 2 on the front entrance, 2 on the back, maybe 20 guys inside, and then the guy in the office.
Right. The next thing that he's going to do is he's going to tell them that take aim at people outside first, and when they get the text, they're going to shoot, and him and the others are going to breach the front door. And when that happens, take aim at anyone that's not them outside.
He gets an affirmative feedback.
All right. He turns to the gang members and quickly explains what stack up means when he needs to get to the door, and probably be a good idea to always remain in cover before trying to engage someone.
Guy, look, right. We've been doing this a while, yeah? I mean, we're still alive. I mean, Derek's only been shot like 3 times.
Yeah.
Get how to attack a place.
Okay. And then he's going to send the text. He's going to push the button with his thumb so the text goes out. The 4 labs would get hit, and the 2 people should take their shots.
The 2 guys guarding the front door, one of them goes down practically a few seconds after he sends the text. The other guy moves to help and then also falls over. The metal-plated car that was travelling behind Celio suddenly guns its engines and shoots off down the length of the warehouse, skidding to a halt around the other end, where a gun battle erupts. At the same time, guys dart out and just lob these Molotov cocktails in through windows, and there's the sound of shattering glass before there's guys screaming, and suddenly a big gout of flame bursts up from inside.
Can Isabel see this flame?
She can see a very big orange glow from outside the window.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I needed to do like a Ross check.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have the money stored where all the explosive chemicals are.
Never underestimate the stupidity of people in large groups.
It's true. Okay, after the 2 people guarding the front go down, he'll lead the people, or he'll lead his group straight to that door, expecting them to stack up.
Celia can see that down the other end of this long-ass corridor, there is a fire, and there's also bullets going all over the place. As people go down, people start shooting back at the car and the guys that were in it down there. Basically, no one's paying him or his crew any attention down there. Meanwhile, inside the office, Izzy notices that the guy that was reading the book has now grabbed a shotgun and a rather large handgun, and is looking considerably concerned.
Okay. While we wait on her. So no, like since we're attacking the main building, I'm assuming they didn't throw the Molotovs into the main building.
There is one all the way down the other end of this building. There are fires going in the buildings surrounding it as well.
Okay. After everyone is stacked up, taking a quick peek inside, see if there's anyone that needs to be shot while taking out the sawed-off shotgun. Actually, One of the people on the porch had an SMG, didn't he?
Yep.
I'm picking that up. And don't pick that up while taking a peek inside, see if there's any place to immediately go for cover. And if I see it, I'm going to say, that's where we need to go.
The room that Izzy's in isn't actually that big. I mean, there's a desk with a couple of chairs around it. In the main area, there's a lot of crates and tables that look like they have had some sort of lab equipment on them previously, but not at the moment. There's an assortment of waist-high cover that you may lock onto if you walk up to and press the interact button.
Alright. After grabbing the SMG, I'm assuming the others follow me in when I go to get cover, look around, looking for anyone who obviously has a weapon. That isn't the people I'm coming in with.
Well, if you get a look into the, for lack of a better word, I'm just going to use the word office. There is a guy in there who's watching the door with a double-barreled shotgun pointed at it. Apart from that, anyone who's armed seems to be down the other end of this warehouse and generally involved in a big firefight.
I'm gonna have Isabel use Dominate on the guy with the shotgun. Dominate 1, and have her say, drop it, and motion to his gun. This is her breaking obfuscate, by the way. What do I need to roll for that, by the way? Dave, since you are the Dominate.
Oh. It's your manipulation plus intimidation.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find intimidation. Okay, I don't have anything, and then I have 2 dots then. Roll. And what's his willpower?
Let's say 5. Let's say 6, standard difficulty.
I mean... Oh, I got 1 success.
He does in fact drop it. Probably because he's incredibly startled that some woman just appeared in his office. He goes, "What the fuck?" and starts moving to point the big handgun at Izzy.
And Izzy's gonna pull out the gun Celio gave her. Don't move. And she's not using Dominate, she's just glaring at him at this point. Don't even think about it. I got in here unseen. What do you think I could possibly do to you at this point?
Now you don't fucking move, and he kicks a chair at her.
Yeah. Unless he's gonna dodge that, I'm gonna Dex. Your athletics to dodge it?
Yeah, Dex athletics. Celia can see this, by the way.
Yeah, it's at this point.
No successes. Wait, 1 success, I'm sorry. Good.
It's at this point Celia's going to go into the room, leveling the SMG at the guy with the pistol. Pop presence 1, and he's gonna say, "Drop it."
Well, when it was one little girl who's now kind of half sprawled on the floor after dodging a chair flying at her. Then there's another guy with an SMG pointed at him, and his gun isn't pointed in Celio's direction. It takes maybe half a second for everything to process properly in this guy's brain before he just lets the handgun drop to the ground and raises his hands. Okay, guy, like, we're cool. We're cool.
No, we're not. And he's gonna look to just give a quick glance to the serpents he came in with. Go ahead, rough him up.
And they proceed to do just that. Piling into the office, he's soon pushed back on the desk. The guy with two baseball bats just kind of pulls the barbed wire off one and just starts wailing on the guy. They all seem to be having quite a good time about it.
And while he's doing that, he's gonna help Isabel back up, and he's gonna say, "You see, my friends here lost some of their members, and we know where they went. What's gonna happen here is your entire operation is gonna become my operation, and say, if you resist in any way, this will seem like a pleasant dream compared to the shitstorm I will put you in." And then he's going to pause, and he's going to say, "Try not to piss yourself as you picture that." And as he says that, he's going to activate Dominate 1 as he says the word piss.
Willpower 6.
Two successes.
Well, he does just that, it seems. Much to the disgust and general, "Oh, dude, really?" of the serpents that were with Celio. They're like, "Oh man, fuck this guy." And they just bash him a few more times with the butts of their weapons before they start moving towards the exit. I don't want to touch no guy who's pissed himself. Fuck that shit. By this time, the guy is largely unable to move, except to sort of quiver gently in pain.
And the Sealer's just going to turn to them and go, "Now, does this make up for... does this help settle things between you and them just a bit?"
Yeah, we'll call it a little bit. We're going to go down there and get a little bit more. And they motion off down to the firefight.
And just goes, "Alright, but try to make it very quick. We're going to be leaving very soon, because this is going to attract a lot of attention."
Yeah, don't worry. We're going to be quick about this. And they laugh and start to run off in that direction.
And Celio is going to take this moment to make sure the guy's knocked out, and if not, blood buff his strength and knock the guy out with a punch to the face.
And that knocks him out.
Then he's going to text Anna and say, "Come on in."
Izzy will kind of wave the bag of evidence at him. She'll probably do better than I did.
Since this is probably her job, I would assume she would do better at it than either of us.
Probably. She walks up to him and she looks him over, like, intently, like, checking his face, his shirt, everywhere. Just kind of like, "You didn't get hurt, did you?"
No. And after he lets us know, What about you? And he's gonna look to where the chair hit her.
Eh, it barely got my leg. I'm fine. And she'll reach up to like adjust his vest and tie, and she's very domestic, almost unfitting for a setting like this. But wow, she's not used to a setting like this, is she?
And, all right. Uh, See if you can find a vault or something. Shouldn't walk away from this empty-handed, should we?
No, no, we really shouldn't. And there's that one right there. I haven't cracked a vault in ages. Can I? Can I?
By all means.
Oh, she rushes. And she gets down and she'll start to crack the vault. Rub her ear. She'll press her ear to it and start to turn the little knob. If it's that kind of vault, is it that kind of vault?
It is indeed.
Oh my gosh. Okay, she's doing that kind of vault. Do you want me to roll my larceny for that?
Go right ahead. I think it'll probably be a int or wits, maybe? Int, because that's the attacking one, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to not my character sheet. Intelligence. Mhm. One, two, three, four. Um, Not sure if this is particularly creative, but she has a intelligence specialty of creative. But either way, that's 4 successes.
It might have been a little bit hard for you to hear over the gunfights and fire going on maybe 50 feet away, but at the same time, Izzy's got some fucking experience doing this sort of shit. True, she might be a bit rusty, probably why it took her a bit longer. It also might be the fact that she was probably enjoying it a bit too much. The safe eventually does crack open and there's a couple of big, nice duffel bags inside. Around this time, Anna turns up, just apparently from nowhere, stepping in through the door, looking rather worried that she's around gunshots. And spotting the bag, she pulls on a pair of blue nitrile gloves and gets to work.
While she's working, Teal's going to step back to give her as much room as she needs. He does not want to interfere with her. He just taps away at his phone, preparing a message saying, "We need to go." And he just waits, and he's going to watch.
It takes Anna a few minutes to get going. She picks up each spike in turn and presses the man's unconscious hands around 2 parts on the spike to make it look as though it's been driven in with 2 hands. She does that with each of the spikes in turn, before she then takes one hand and ruffles the man's hair quite almost violently, takes a few bits of stray hair that's fallen out and gets a small scoop and just kind of scrapes away at the guy's cheek for a moment where it's been battered and bruised by the serpents before. And she gets a few flakes of blood and skin and just puts them into a little evidence pot as well. Everything's very, very clinically done. Very, very methodical. Yeah, I mean, there is some variation in where she's made it look like the guy's been holding the spikes, but it's clear that each position of the hand is very deliberate on the spikes. It takes maybe 5 minutes before she's fully done and happy with everything.
As soon as she's done and is ready to go, he sends that text saying we need to go. And he's like, all right, everyone back to the car.
What did Isabel find in the safe? I'm sorry, kind of.
2 big duffel bags.
All right, well, I will have her throw one over her shoulder and toss Celia the other one.
They are quite heavy, as though they're laden down with paper. And yet they move as though they're laden down with many small pieces of paper.
Ah, yes.
Meanwhile, Anna grabs her own duffel bag of steel spikes and makes to follow them.
Question, do I need to roll humanity for stealing this stuff?
What is your humanity currently?
Leave it as out. Let me check. I believe it's at 7. Yep, I'm at 7, so yes, I need to roll humanity. Yep. And that is my conscience, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, I feel really fucking bad.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking that money for your own personal gain. Like, there is probably a lot of money in these bags, judging by the size of these guys' operations. Plus, you had to basically kill a load of people to get it, and you could probably be taking this money that people have destroyed their lives to get more methamphetamine for, and just keeping it.
Isabel frowns, looks at Celio. She's like, I don't really like drug business.
No one does. Well, government does. But just think about it. Because of what we did today, there will be less of this going on tomorrow.
Yeah. And she just kind of...
I was actually going to say, do you think I need to roll conscience for all this?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What is your humanity anymore? You're a 6, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you still need to do it. You're not, like...
Actually, it's at 5. No.
You're at 5. I don't know if you do. Do you?
I might still.
Well, either way, he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't 8.
But, like, I mean... At the same... I mean, you were doing a good thing. You were helping out Mitch, technically. Also gaining a big foothold. And a load of money, which is quite nice. But you were also kind of pulling a giant dick move on all these guys that you just got caught in the crossfire. Well. Shit kind of happens sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I'm doing all this good work to better the society and to. I'm gonna be telling the bloodhounds not to be selling to any kids, not to be recruiting kids, but it's still costing lives to do. It's a slippery slope.
Once they're back in the car and I guess leaving, just gonna look to Anna. So, did you have fun, at least? I mean, it's kind of like doing your job in reverse, isn't it?
Well, I mean, at least I'm the person that's kind of on CSI duty, so I mean, I can't really implicate myself. So the whole thing where they find out that evidence has been planted in the TV show means it can't happen here, right? Right? She looks like she's seeking out some sort of affirmation of what she said.
She looks to Celio. I assume.
She's gonna give a nod, like he's not entirely sure, but he thinks that's right. So, besides, we honestly don't know who did the whole thing with the sign, and if it's any sort of breach to the masquerade, this will cover it.
Anna smiles and nods. Okay, I can live with that.
He's like, by the way, where am I dropping you off?
Oh, probably back at the police station. I'll need to be there for when, this stuff is called in, because I'll have to come out.
Give a bit of a nod at that. He takes a bit of the scenic route to get there, so it's not a direct shot back and forth.
He passes several police cars with sirens blazing, going out towards the warehouses that he was just at.
Of course, he's giving them full courtesy, making sure to steer clear of them. Next time we meet up, it should probably be for a social thing, shouldn't it? More laid back, less stress.
Anna was gonna take me to a nerd convention this weekend. You could always see if you wanted. She kind of pokes her fingers together. Come hang out with us if you want.
Well, I wouldn't want to intrude, and kind of he looks between her and Anna, just like a quick glance to see if it's okay with both of them. He's not gonna impose on them at all.
Isabel looks to Anna curiously.
Anna gives a slow shrug. He'd make a good Garen.
He should be Garen.
And you can be Lux.
It'll be perfect. And she just kind of like high fives Anna. Please offers it.
I will pretend to know what you're talking about.
She'll do fine. Don't worry about it. We'll dress you.
And he was about to say okay, and then he looked a little worried about that, actually.
Anna's got an almost creepy smile on as she's watching Celio, as though she's planning something in her head.
He'll immediately look to Isabel before looking back out to the road.
Isabel's got that same planning, devious little smile on her face.
And when he gets to it's at that moment that he pulls his flask out and takes a drink from it before capping it and putting this flask away.
Hey, no drinking and driving.
Considering what we just did,
We don't need to make any, or we don't need to do any more felonies tonight, do we? Be careful. She looks at him.
And say, all right.
With some little more driving, Celio eventually pulls up back where he was at the police precinct. There are decidedly fewer police cars there now. And as they pull up and stop, Anna grabs the bag with the spikes in and makes to open the door. Hey, thanks for letting me hang out with you guys tonight.
Thanks for helping, honestly.
No,
Smile.
you're a really big help.
She smiles and starts to step out. Izzy, we're on for crafting tomorrow, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna need extra help, and we're gonna have to build his costume too.
She nods and fully slides out of the car before closing the door and scampering off back towards the precinct.
And she watches her go, and she looks at Celia, and she's like, "Cute, isn't she?"
And it's like, in the same matter a little kid is, yes.
And she shrugs, and she'll kind of look at him and go, "I don't really know how to act sometimes after she kissed me. Honestly, but she's a good friend." And she looks at the bags of money and she goes, "Think we should give her some of that, considering the risk she's taking?"
It's like, I'll take a portion from either and put it into what, a 7-year CD in her name?
That should work.
I'll give a bit of a nod to that and start to drive back towards the communal haven he shares with her and Jason. Says, well, on the bright side, that'll be the best way for her to get some more out of it than what we have right now.
She nods. Yeah. I don't know much about this money business. She kind of shrugs. That's your forte. I know how to use computers.
And he would just say, 100 grand 7-year CDs offer the highest return rate that isn't risky. You just keep renewing them every 7 years. Or more if you can get one that's larger.
And she nods. And she'll, feign a yawn. And, whichever hand isn't on the steering wheel, she'll take his hand and hold it. And kind of lean on him. As they drive back, and she looks like she's starting to fall asleep.
I think that's a good place to draw this scene to a conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts from you two?
I guess Isabel's final thoughts at the moment are more... She's happy that Celio's including her in things. She's happy that she made a little bit of a difference and that she was, for the most part, useful tonight. So she tends to feel a little underestimated. And she can't wait to see Celio dressed up in Garen costume.
And Celio is glad that he can actually start to control the crime in the city and bring it to a minimum. Make the society more pleasant to be in. Because what the cops are doing just isn't working. Fighting them tooth and nail every day, try and shut them down, it's not working, as far as he's concerned. But by this, he can at least control who they go to. He can get them off of stuff like meth, start sticking to the more safe drugs. And he, it doesn't help, or it doesn't. The fact that people died during this, the fact that there were lives ruined by having this done, it's weighing on him. It's actually kind of eating up at him. He's probably going to be donating some of that cash to charity to, in a way, make up for it. Probably to a organization that deals with getting people off of their addictions, like rehab. Furthermore, he's going to look up what a Garen is.
And as we draw this scene to a close, we see two men, both dressed in black suits, standing next to a black car with tinted windows, just staring up at the smouldering remains of a meth lab. One turns to the other. This place is a fucking mess. You think we should have made a mistake coming here? The other turns back. Nope. I think we're just where we belong. We need to sort this place out. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. Good night, and have a good morning in Independence.